Y'all, these next episodes, episodes 6 through 10 of season 2, really put me through the emotional ringer from the first time I watched it and now with this rewatch, okay? That episode 10 ending still got to me because I really for sure thought Fatima was done for real. But anyways, hello. Welcome to my channel, TV-DICTION, where we talk about all my latest TV obsessions. We're back at it again with the Zatima Rewatch. The goal is to watch it before the October 3rd premiere, which means we're about 3 days away now. So, as you can tell by the title, we'll be reviewing episodes 6 through 10. Let's dive right into episode 6. The episode picks up with a clearly drunken Angela and Fatima in the car with Sean. Fatima is steady trying to convince Angela to let Sean go about his business and, trying to stop her from trying to sleep with him. Zach is still at Deja's house, entertaining her foolishness. I'm just trying to figure out, why is he still sitting there with her while she's in her towel? He was in that house entertaining that conversation a little too long for my liking. And Zach telling Deja, I'm trying my hardest not to out of you right now, is a wild ass statement. Because what, sir? Do you not have a whole fiance at home? And of course, Fatima pulls up as Zach is walking out of Deja's house. Fatima knows she's wrong as hell for going to bed in that muumuu, but you know what? It takes a bad bitch to make a muumuu look good, and she wore the hell out of that muumuu and that bonnet. And muumuus wasn't stopping no type of action back in the day, okay? Our grandmas and great-grandmas was out here in muumuus, and they have a surplus of children. Be having 5+ children wearing muumuus, okay? So ain't nothing wrong with the muumuu. I know I love me a good muumuu, though. I do. The argument that Zach and Fatima were having in the bed was clearly the two of them, showcasing a lack of communication and understanding, because the two of them were talking at each other and not really talking to each other. It's like they couldn't understand where each other was coming from in that moment. Fatima, of course, in the heat of an argument, went and ran to Angela's house, which is a continuous thing for Fatima throughout this season. Like, when things are getting too much, she's out of here. She's gone. Nathan's trifling ass still out here dirtying Lori's face. And not only is he crashing on Tony's couch because she kicked him out, he has the nerve to still be on some dating app. And some dating app with a stupid ass name talking about get you some ass now. The fact that he really thought he caught Fatima slipping is crazy, because I'm trying to figure out why Nathan thought that the caliber of woman that Fatima is would even be on the same dating site that his trifling ass would be on, okay? If Fatima was to be looking to step out on Zach, she would have been looking for a step up, not for no one with the likes of Nathan, okay? Be so for real right now. He really just hates Fatima just to hate her, like with no real rhyme or reason. At least Tony has some sense not to feed into that at times. Fatima really should have listened to Angela and not blindside Zach with the whole Dr. Reed situation. Although her intentions are good, I am still on the side of she should have told him, gave him some type of heads up. Not Bryce walking in as Sean is walking out. Like I keep saying, from season 1 and the early episodes of season 2 as well, Angela needs to be up front and, cut the cord with Bryce instead of stringing him along. And Bryce needs to be up front and stop acting like he don't know why Angela is being distant and avoiding him. Like, sir, you kissed a whole man. Not only any regular man, you kissed my best friend's fiance. And now you're trying to act like you don't know why I'm avoiding you. Be so for real, Bryce. In true Fatima fashion, she of course didn't listen to Angela and she did still call Dr. Reed. And I don't know why Angela insists on Fatima and Zach needing to be there when she talks to Bryce. Like, that should be done privately with the two of them, not in front of an audience. Like, this is a very sensitive topic. You know, basically, your man needing to come out to you. That does not need to be done, you know, in the moment, in front of anybody. Like, that does not need to be witnessed by anyone. That scene of Fatima walking in on Zach using the side chick was too funny. And it is still funny to me, okay? Episode 6 was really light in terms of drama. The drama more to unfold throughout episodes 7, 8, 9, and 10. This one was a little light. Fatima knows she was dead wrong for laughing at Zach like that. Even though it was hilarious, but it's like, you know, you bought it for him to use and the man was using it. Ain't that what you wanted? You know, better the side chick than Deja. But I'm glad she didn't, you know, expose him to Angela, you know, about what she walked in on. But and also kudos to Angela for, you know, being on go behind her friend, okay? She was like, you sure? I'll be up there. Angela was ready to pull up if it was another woman that Fatima would have found in that room. And I admire it, you know? I'm here for it. I think I'm going to continue to reiterate this, but I am glad that Zach has one friend with sense. Okay? I agree with Tony. Though, like, to some extent, Fatima and Zach should have taken some time apart from each other to get their shit together separately before coming together. Like, they've been going through so much, and, you know, it's like everything jeopardizes them being together. So, some time apart is much needed. Mr. Tyrone also gave Zach some good advice because you most definitely need to be cautious of who you take advice from, because although their intentions may be, you know, pure, it just might not be the right advice for you in your situation at that time. Extreme eye roll, of course, Paul would happen to be there when Fatima shows up to meet with Dr. Reed. And of course, he once again tried to shoot another failed shot at her. I really didn't like the fact that he, you know, insinuated that Zach would put his hands on Fatima. Sir, could we not make that same assumption about you? Since you did go 0 to 100 by pinning Zach up in that elevator. So can we not assume that, you know, when you get angry, you could be pushed there too? But I am glad that Fatima was able to, like, shut that down real quick, though. Ooh, Dr. Reed really did clog Fatima's tea just a little, though, with that, because you don't have any issues, right? That line, yeah, left Fatima gagged. Me too. He ain't even have to come for our girl like that, though. But, I mean, he ain't wrong. Fatima for sure needs to see a therapist of her own. And if she's wanting Zach to be open to doing the work on himself, she has to also be open to doing the work on herself as well. Because although Zach's trauma is what is at the forefront right now and outwardly shown, that does not mean that she, you know, absolved from her own trauma and, you know, her own need of healing. But, you know, once again, Fatima does ignore another person who feels like blindsiding Zach was not a good idea. Back at Rise Ventures, Zach walks in and where he finds Bryce talking to Valerie, who has brought them, you know, a new investment opportunity. And we see again where Bryce isn't listening to Zach. Zach said he doesn't have the $2 million to invest in this. And instead of saying, okay, Bryce continues to try to convince and pressure him about the deal more. And you know what? More and more, it's looking like Bryce may have not been the right choice for Zach to go into business with. I am sorry. The more I see them interact, the more we see things unfold. It's like, was this really a good decision? Maybe Zach should have thought it out more before joining businesses or joining forces with Bryce. Quick question. Does anyone know what Angela does exactly for a living? because she stayed down at Fatima's office. And Fatima, girl, you out here scheming to get Zach to see a therapist is not going to work. Please be upfront with that man. And every time Nathan and Tony link up with Zach, Nathan comes with the foolishness. I'm really still trying to figure out why Zach is still friends with him. Like, can we please wrap this up expeditiously, okay? When I say Paul irks me so bad. I just want to skip through every scene that he is in, okay? Like, did you only change Fatima's tire for you to be able to ask her out to dinner? That's why women have to be a little, skeptical from accepting help from men, because they're always going to want something in return or always have an ulterior motive. You portrayed yourself to be like this good guy only trying to help her, and do a good deed. But in reality, you really just wanted to be able to ask her out. And he swear he's better than Zach, but what kind of man are you really if you don't respect the fact that she's in a relationship, she's telling you she's in a relationship, and she has shut you down in your advances multiple times? Like, where is your moral compass, sir? But, I'm glad Fatima hit him with that, are you inviting me and my man? When he asked her to dinner, because, like, let's be so for real. She done told you she has a man. So what was you inviting her to dinner was finna do? Please tell me, sir. Nathan and Tony was really just up there looking stupid at the law firm on a damn stakeout trying to catch Fatima doing wrong. I need Nathan to get it through his thick ass skull. Just because you're out here doing wrong and stepping out of your marriage does not mean everyone is doing the same. And I really can't believe that Zach let them talk him into this foolishness. Like, really? Yep, Fatima, that's exactly what he was doing, checking up on you. He was trying to catch you in the act of doing something sneaky. Nathan just got him out here looking just dumb. I want to know, what has Fatima done to Zach for him to have such a lack of trust in her? To think that she would be able to, get cased up like that is crazy, Zach. Like, be so for real. Zach really should have just split Nathan dead in his shit for having him look stupid like that. And what's really tea? Why does Nathan dislike her so much? What is it about Fatima that rubs Nathan the wrong way? Fatima's steady saying she moving back to her apartment. We ain't seen Nan moving box yet, girl. I really want to know how Zach expected Fatima to feel after he literally came to her job trying to catch her cheating, quote unquote cheating. She has never given him a reason to doubt her in that way. She's always loyal to him, that she's so loyal to a fault at times. But on the other hand, Zach has literally given Fatima a reason not to trust him. One woman's pregnant. He done slept with one of her friends. And every time she looks up, Zach is in Deja's face, entertaining her advances in her foolishness. But didn't have the nerve to not trust Fatima. Like, the audacity of him. If anyone was to have trust issues, it most definitely should be Fatima, not you, Zach. Listen, we can't blame Zach for not wanting to be left alone with Bryce, okay? He's not trying to have that man kiss up on him again. And I really don't blame him. Yeah, keep your guards up. Keep your head on that swivel, Zach. Fatima really should have given Zach a heads up about Dr. Reed. I get that she probably didn't want him to shut the idea down before he got a chance to meet him and actually interact with him. But at least right before the house, right before Dr. Reed came to the house, Fatima should have told him. So he won't be the only one looking dumb and found it at what this was, She also should have tried harder, to cancel that dinner with her mom, because it really was not a good idea for, Zach to be getting ambushed twice back-to-back at a dinner. First with this therapist, and then for it to be, with her parents. Like, that was too much for him. I'm gonna agree with that. Like, way too much for him. Zach, once again, is outside entertaining Deja and her foolishness, okay? But whatever happened to that frivolous lawsuit that Deja supposedly filed against Fatima? I feel like we never got to see what really happened with that, but I guess we can assume that it just went nowhere because it was really just bullshit, or that she never really filed the lawsuit and was just talking shit, I guess, right? You see, they started off wrong, okay? Because how is Dr. Reed Angela's friend, but he had to introduce himself to Angela? Zach had his head on that swivel and peeped from jump that something wasn't quite right. Like, when Dr. Reed was introducing himself to Angela, you seen the way Zach was looking. Like, he peeped something. Fatima girl, what were you expecting from this ambush? I agree with Zach. Like, that was messed up of Fatima. And Angela shouldn't have blurted out that thing about, about the kiss just like that. Because that was traumatic for Zach. And he ain't trying to deal with all that, in front of Bryce and in front of this random man. And it's also a sensitive topic for Bryce, as he's not comfortable being out in the open yet, as, he's not upfront with his sexuality, really. That was definitely a conversation to be had in private. Zach's conversation with Dr. Reed also would have been better in private, because ain't no way Fatima really thought that Zach would have had an open mind about this. Like, he's not finna, dump all his trauma in front of everybody like this, let alone a stranger, okay? Bryce is really living in the land of the Lulu, because whatever gave you the impression that there was a possibility for the four of you to become a swinging couple? Like, what gave that vibe? You created that narrative in your head and just thought, yeah, everyone's gonna be cool, okay with it. Like, sir, no. I'm really confused as to why he thought it was going to be all fun and dandy and, everybody's going to be one big swingers party. Zach and Fatima never gave that vibe. And Angela Sheriff never gave that vibe either. So where did he get this idea that it was going to be cool? And Bryce and Angela's relationship should have been a wrap after this, shitstorm over dinner. Especially after saying that plus size women are, a fetish for him. Yeah, automatic turn off, besides the fact that you also like men. That big turn off. Dr. Reed came in and did his job, okay? He really was just reading them all. I did disagree with him, though, when it came to what he said to Angela. Because him talking about, her hair, her makeup, all of that is just a facade, to cover up, bigger issues. I'm like, how so? She's just keeping up with herself as a woman. That's something that comes with being a woman. Our hair, our makeup, and our clothes. If we look good, we feel good. That's literally a form of self-care. And in that same regard, because he not say the same thing about Fatima, she keeps herself up with her hair, her makeup, and all that. But is it because Angela's a plus size woman and you feel like she's overcompensating for being a plus size woman? Like, that I really disagree with him. Angela looks good. She's keeping herself up as any woman should. That has nothing to do with her hiding deeper things. I completely disagreed with that. I was really hoping that the Bryce and Angela thing would, end here. There was really nothing much to say from there, but they're still on this roller coaster. Will they, won't they? Fatima girl, just because your intentions were pure, that doesn't make the way you went about things right. You cannot blame Zach for being upset and for him not wanting to go to dinner with your parents after this ambush with the therapist. He's been beaten too much. He's been beaten up too much already, okay? Zach really needs some space to process everything, okay? You blindsided him with therapists in front of a man who he no longer trusts because he tried to kiss him, your friend, at a dinner table. Like, I get it. The intentions were there, but there's no way you really thought this was going to be, all smooth and it would have went well. There's no way. Nathan has nothing but audacity, okay? Because there's no way he really came up to Zach talking about Zach hurt his feelings. Like, sir, you are single-handedly trying to break his relationship apart for no reason. And why wouldn't he not want to beat your ass? Like, stop bringing up his mother effing ex. Like, that's dead and gone. Like, leave it be. He is with this woman. He's trying to work this out with the woman he's with now. Why are you trying to stand in that way? Like, dang, Nathan, leave a man in his relationship alone, please. Zach, you out here trying to argue with Fatima about her being overly independent and stuff. Like, sir, you could have went down there and opened the door, but you want to sit there and fuss with her. Of course she gonna want to do it herself. Like, just go open the goddamn door. Jeremiah just dropping Miss Gladys off in the state that she was to Zach still has me shook and shaking my head, because why would you just bring her like that? Like, why would you not bring her to a hospital? Like, you literally got her knocking on death's door and you just dropped her in his lap like that? Just trying to pawn her off as Zach's problem, as if, you and her weren't getting high together. Like, be so for real. Like, that was so unfair to Zach, because, like, he don't know what the hell Miss Gladys and Jeremiah had gotten themselves into. And then for him to show up in the middle of the night and then just drop her there and then leave. Like, where they do that at? Like, what is he supposed to do? Like, oh my gosh. That really stressed me out real bad. Like, he really just dropped her up in that state and then expected Zach to clean up the mess. Like, Jeremiah. And Miss Gladys, too. Both rub me the wrong way, I tell you. I remember hating how this episode ended and then having to wait for the next 10 episodes to be streamed. Like, talk about stress. Like, we were literally left on the cliffhanger. But I'm so glad, like, with this rewatch, I don't have to do that. It's not an agonizing wait to see what happens next. Jeremiah, why would you not take your mom to the hospital first? And if you were so tired of her falling and stuff, and taking care of her, why would you not stop using with her? Like, you out here contributing to the problem and being a part of her problem and talking about you're tired of it. Be so for real. The way I wanted to slap Miss Gladys for coming for Fatima like that and then talking about, oh, she liked Karen. Like, ma'am, if you don't get your strung out ass from her house, I know something. Like, she better be glad that she's Zach's mom, and Fatima respects that, because how are you so out of pocket while being, so strung out on the brink of death? Zach snapping on Fatima pissed me off the first time I watched it, and it pissed me off all over again. And I remember this, this hospital disagreement or whatever having, causing so much discord on Twitter and stuff, because there are people literally saying like, oh yeah, Fatima's wrong. She shouldn't have showed up to the hospital. Like, excuse me? What do you mean? She was literally just trying to be a supportive fiance, and Zach just lashed out on her. There was no reason why she shouldn't have been there. I would have side-eyed her if she didn't show up. She needed to be there, both the first time and then the second time before she went to the dinner. She was just being a supportive fiance. She just wanted to show her support to Zach, but he lashed out on her. Like, Fatima was not wrong in this episode. Like, in this scene, like, in regards to the hospital, she was not wrong there. But like I was saying, like, Zach snapping on her really did piss me off all over again, because she really was just trying to be a supportive fiance, and you're out here shutting her out and, passing off that anger onto her. She didn't deserve that, kicking her out the hospital like that, like, I get it, you're upset and you're going through a lot, but, she is not your emotional punching bag. It would have been just easier if you would have opened up to her instead of lashing out. Angela, please get off this roller coaster with Bryce, okay? Pretty, please, I beg of you. I'm over it. I know Zach was upset, at the sight of Dr. Reed, but, after Dr. Reed started talking to him, you could see, like, a little slither of hope and sign that Zach was, actually accepting of Dr. Reed's words. However, unfortunately, the slight make mention of Paul, that Dr. Reed, saying that he knows Paul, like, threw all that little slither of hope out the window, because Zach just instantly put his guards right back up. And I really hate that for him, because it looked like for a small moment there when, Dr. Reed was talking to him and he was crying and stuff like that, you could see that it's signs of him actually opening up to the idea. But then the make mention of Paul was like, nope, shut it out, gone, I know that wasn't the ideal place for Dr. Reed to come, but I think it was still good for Zach. Nathan will forever be in the doghouse with me, but I love the show of brotherhood, that him and Tony had for showing up for Zach, and Miss Gladys. I also do appreciate Connie for showing up, like, even though she did mess that appreciation up when she one disrespected Fatima, and two, still trying to push up on Zach. Like, this man, they just told this man his mom just left the hospital, and you out here talking about come over to your house. Can we be so for real right now? I will always say this, like, it was messed up of Zach to be okay with Connie there, but then pushed out his own fiance. While I get that Connie understands and seen Miss Gladys like this before, but at the end of the day, like, Fatima is your fiance. Like, you have to open her up. You got to open up to her about that point of, that point of your life at some point. And this would have been the perfect time to do it, because she's getting a firsthand at, like, the trauma that your mom really caused you and the continuous battle that it was. Connie's introduction to Fatima was problematic. I understand, I understand Fatima's hurt, and Zach letting Connie disrespect Fatima wasn't cool, like calling her Halima and all that, talking about, oh, you must be the Beyonce. Like Fatima said, nah, the big fiance, like, period. Put some respect on her name. Zach really should have stuck up for Fatima in that moment. And I do believe that when Fatima turned away and walked out, Zach should have went after her instead of staying with Connie. Zach showing up to Fatima's parents only to show his ass was so disappointing to me, because Fatima once again did not deserve that. While the way she went about the therapist was wrong, her heart was in the right place. And, she stuck beside Zach through all the mess that, he's come with in their relationship. And then for him to embarrass her like that in front of her parents really was a turn off and left a bad taste in my mouth for Zach. I'm not gonna lie though, because I did get a little choked up when he said the only stupid thing I ever did was think that someone like you could love someone like me. Like, heartstrings pulled. I hate to see Zach in that space, but his misplaced anger towards Fatima was so saddening. And even after that horrible display in front of her parents, Fatima still stood up for him to her parents. She still had his back, even though he hurt her in that way, right? Like, he disappointed her by showing up and acting a fool in front of her parents. But she was still, like, telling her mom to back off. And she was still, trying to be there for him and stick up for him. Man, I thought Fatima's parents, that secret that they had was way bigger than what we found out it to be. It was not so bad. Maybe I'm thinking they probably gonna tell her real daddy's still alive or something, or Zach is involved in something more much more mischievous, like when they did their deep dive. But, you know, we find out down the line it wasn't that bad. It was fine. Zach running to Connie instead of Fatima really hurt me, because I really did think, you know, that he slept with her. And not Nathan finally gaining a little bit of moral compass regarding Connie and Zach. But once again, Miss Gladys coming into Zach and Fatima's house, disrespecting Fatima and causing further turmoil for Zach was such a turnoff. Like, I really wanted to slap Miss Gladys, y'all. I know we're supposed to respect our elders and stuff, but yeah, no. In that moment, I wanted somebody to smack Miss Gladys the shit out of her, okay? She wanted to hurt the relationship because she wasn't giving money, and then she turned around and did just that, you know? Miss Gladys is a real piece of work. Man, Fatima saying, Zach, we're done, and walking out still got to me. Even though I know they end up reconciling, that scene is still like, ugh. It was like, I didn't expect it, because I think that was the first time we seen her. Like, she said she's done before, but we knew it was like, no, like, she's coming back. Like, but in this moment, there was a chance. It was like, damn, she probably might not really come back. And I know that Zach didn't really deny sleeping with Connie, because he was just trying to hurt Fatima in the same way that he's hurting. But I'm going to keep saying this over and over. Fatima did not deserve that. Okay? But episode 10 was a real roller coaster. Like that, the emotions were very much at an all-time high. But down in the comments, let me know your thoughts on episodes 6 through 10. Until next time, thank you for watching.